The following tape contains Coach Bob Bennett's lessons on baseball fundamentals and, most importantly, how to teach those fundamentals. The teaching plan is simple and sequential, but critical to maximizing Coach Bennett's lessons. Number 1, explain. Number 2, describe. 3, demonstrate. Number 4, evaluate. Number 5, understand ability levels. 6, make adjustments to individuals. And 7, repetition.
Hi, I'm Bob Bennett. I've been coaching for 46 years, 34 at Fresno State and 12 at two different high schools here in the area, Kingsburg High School and Bullard High School. So I've had some experience with not only college players but youth league players. And I've had the opportunity to work for Coach's Choice, and they're putting together a series on youth baseball, and this is one of those, and it will be on pitching. What we're working on here is the start of pitching as I see it, and that's throwing the baseball and playing a little bit of catch and trying to hit a target. So what we're going to do here is have these kids work with the grip. They're throwing the ball across the seams right now, and they're hitting a target. And the first target, you can put targets any place you want, but we generally have 6 targets. 1, the right shoulder, 2, the right hip, 3, the right knee, 4, the left shoulder, 5, the left hip, and 6, the left knee, and we go through that, and that gives you 30 pitches to warm up. So we'll just do a few of those now. JD, try to hit him in the right shoulder with the ball. And now you hit him in the right shoulder with the ball. And you're watching here for just nice, relaxed release point and good rotation on the ball. And both these guys are doing it well. And now just to kind of quickly go through it, now hit him in the right hip with the ball with a throw. And the thing about this good, if it's a little off, you don't worry about it. What you want to do is you want to let it be an automatic feel that you have. You're just throwing it and letting your mind tell you where the ball's going to go. Try to hit him in the right hip. All right, right hip. Now we're going to hit him in the left shoulder. And he's going to come back and hit John in the left shoulder. And I wouldn't worry about that. All you do is record it the wrong side, but you don't worry about it. You just come back. Now hit him in the left shoulder this time. Atta baby. Now we're going to go downstairs and hit him in the right knee. Good. Now you hit him in the right knee. That's all right. What you want direction. You want to make sure they're going in the right direction with that thing, and both of them did it well. They kept the ball down. And again, you don't get real critical if it's a little bit out or a little bit in. You're just saying get the ball downstairs and get it near that area. And if it's near, it doesn't have to be a pinpoint spot, but what you're doing is you're focusing on a target when you throw. You never throw a baseball without having a target. All the elements of pitching are really important, but the thing that makes a ball move is the grip and the rotation, how you release the ball. So it becomes really important then how we grip the ball and how we get a feel for it. So would you, each of you, grab the ball and throw a ball across the seams and show your grip. So what you see here with Brandon, you have the ball across the seams. There's about a finger spread here, and this thumb here will be pretty close to being in the middle of those 2 fingers. So if you could just put that up there. JD is the same way. Depends on what you're doing. That thumb would be about right there for just a straight fastball. Good backward rotation. And you want a little bit of space in there if you can. Now with small fingers, with youth league players, they have small, mine are kind of stubby too, but you try to get a little space in there and get it as far out on the fingertips as you can. If you can't do that, then you simply grab it the way you get the best feel on it and throw it, and it puts a little bit more pads of the fingers on the ball and slows it down a little bit, but you still opt for control. You'd rather have control than to be wild where you don't have a feel. As you get bigger, you keep trying to get it out on the fingertips, so the last parts of your fingers that hit the ball are the pads of both fingers, and that's why you have a little bit of spread in here, and that'll vary with players. Whatever makes a ball go straight is how you operate your fingers. If you move them a little bit closer, you get a little bit more movement. If you move them a little bit wider, you get the ball a little bit straighter until you get out here to a split grip, and then you start getting all different kinds of movement with the ball. Now, if you want to throw it straight, a shortstop, a second baseman, a catcher, and a pitcher that's just trying to get the ball straight would go across the seams. But if you want to throw the ball with movement, then you go with the seams. and with the seams. Both these guys have a great idea what it is. That's with the seams, and this is also with the seams. It's the same thing. It does the same thing. I mean, the ball will react the same way on it. You might be able to, it depends on the individual, you might be able to get a little bit more movement with the ball this way because you can grab one seam and push this way or the other way. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this ball and go across the seams and have these guys play a little bit of catch and show you that you can have a little bit of movement on the ball without throwing a curveball. You can make the ball move with finger pressure. So they're both going to start off throwing the ball across the seams and turn it a little bit like this, sideways, and try to get a cut fastball on it. It'll be a little bit like a slider, yeah. You're just going to take the same grip you have, turn the ball, just turn the seams like that, and then just throw the same way. You throw it with the same grip and come across the seams, and it should come out and cut a little bit to the right to left for a right-hander. So if you guys would go ahead and play catch now. Now this ball should be a fastball rotation, and it does have a little bit of rotation like a slider spin on it, but you can do that without, that was good. You can do that without turning the wrist, which sometimes hurts the elbow with younger players. This way you can have movement on the ball by throwing just what essentially is a fastball. That's good. Now with the same idea, do the same thing and throw with the seams. And this time all you do is put a little bit more pressure on the middle finger to the outside of the ball, but don't turn your wrist over. Just put the same fastball rotation, but just cut down on the outside half the ball. Have a little slider, yeah. Cut down on the outside half the ball. I'm getting over here if I can see a little bit. That's good. So he's got a little bit of movement on that, and that's without cranking and doing all the breaking pitch stuff. So rotation is a result of the grip and the release point. Yeah, what we want to do here is start out with the actual mechanics of pitching. I always start out with a grip and rotation, try to get some of that stuff straightened out, and then we start with the mechanics of pitching so that we can get the proper rotation with the least amount of effort on the arm, so we don't have arm injury. We feel like pitching is really important to the whole process of the game, and if you're weak on the mound, it's really tough to make it up with hitting and defense. If you're strong on the mound, you have a chance to have a good, even a better offensive hitting team because there's not as much pressure on them. So we put a lot of time into pitching and want to do it right and get the mechanics right on it. And if we're solid here with our back foot and our front foot, we start to put good mechanics together. So let's talk a little bit about the approach. John, first of all, come up here and get on the mound with your right foot. We're just going to look at the right foot now. Place it on the rubber. Go ahead. Yeah, start as though you're going to pitch and start right there. Okay. Now what John's doing here is doing one of two things. We're going to be with a foot either flat, parallel against the rubber here, or we're going to come up in here and put one cleat up and two cleats down. If you have a good pitching mound, you can pitch this way. If you have a little bit of hole, or if you get used to pitching this way, this is fine. But the big issue is here keeping the toe closer to the hitter than the heel and making sure you're balanced on the inside. Now, John, just come on up and balance on that foot, and then, Brandon, I'm going to have you do the same thing. Balance. Okay, balance. Good. Now, the only thing I would really emphasize, John, is keep your toe ahead of your heel. You got your heel just a little bit ahead. Now, that's it. Now come up and balance. Same way. You got a really good balance point. That's just like that. Now, atta baby. That's really good. And the other thing that's important here is John's keeping his, that's good. He's got good balance. I'll hold you a minute. This knee is going to stay inside that foot for a real good balance position. If kids can get that, or any pitcher can get that, you've got a chance to deliver the ball well to home plate. Okay, Brandon, come on over. And you get up on the pitching rubber. Good. Toes ahead of heel. And you'll hear that a lot. Toe ahead of heel. Now go ahead and lift your leg up. Good. Now we want to keep the weight on the inside and balance. Up, up, up. That boy. Up, balance. And stay right on that foot. Now down again. No, down. Just put your front foot down and do it again. Up, leg up, balance. And you just keep repeating this until you can get it done right. And we're going to do some dry run drills to show how that's done. Now the next thing is, and Brandon, while you're here, I'm just going to have you stride. stride, go ahead and stride as though you're throwing, land on the front foot. And what's really important here is that he lands on the inside of his foot and the knee stays inside there. Now go ahead and finish your throw and stay there, good. Now there's two stable places that you want to master here. One stable spot is your foot back here, put your foot back here where you were. When that foot goes down into its place, go ahead and set it down. It doesn't move when you leg lift. You leg lift and that foot stays stable. Go ahead and pick your leg up. Now stride. When you stride, open that foot just a little bit. Attaboy, knee inside. Now go ahead and stride and that foot doesn't move anymore. Go ahead. It stays down. It doesn't lift up, it doesn't roll over, and that was good. Thank you. Okay, John, come on over. And we'll have John go through those two spots. One is the push-off foot. Toe ahead of heel, stride, stride. Okay, now if we're going to stride, we'd have to open that toe just a little bit, and keep the knee inside. Now go ahead and stride, and finish, and the foot stays stable. Now those are the points that we're going to do it one more time. Remember, the toes ahead of heel, stride, get the toe ahead of heel, stride, that's it, finish, and the foot stays level. Now what we're looking for here, do it one more time, John, and keep your weight on the inside of your front foot. I really want to emphasize this. You're going to stride, the weight's going to stay on the inside, but that's it. The knee stays in, throws, and balance. That's where you get the drive. If pitchers can get these two things mastered, the other stuff starts coming easier.